What's going on, YouTube? It's James with Shyhammer Fantasy Battle Reports. Got another battle report for you today. It's the ETC Novi 2019 round number 5. Guys, what is going on? This game is a doozy. This game is actually it's a pretty good game, actually. I was looking over the photos. I was adding up the points of who dies and who doesn't die, and it's a pretty tough game. So I'm excited to get you this battle report out. If you guys have been keeping up, I'd like to give you guys a quick recap. But game number 1 against Norway, I had a small win. Our team had a small win. Game 2 against Australia, I had a big win. We had a medium-sized win. Game number 3 against Ukraine, we ended up losing to Ukraine pretty big. Game number 4 against Portugal, they outmatched us on the match card system and in the match process, and that cost us a small loss. It was a 4-point loss, but I still feel like I learned from my mistakes. So this game right here, we're going against Argentina. Now, guys, for the record, you could see here in this picture, this is a group photo of everybody in Argentina. The guy, he's a short guy on the right side, bald, not the one holding the iPad, but the one holding the flag. That is Alex. Alex was supposed to be our coach last year in Zagreb, Croatia, and he ended up backing out because Argentina needed somebody to fill the spot, and he was like, I could fill the spot, so he joined Argentina last year on a whim. And he's still on their team this year. But he's also really good friends with a couple of my players. He actually went to dinner with us a couple nights instead of going out with his team. So coincidentally, he actually brought a very similar list to our Charlie on our team. So it was really funny because Charlie's like, anybody who could take me out could take out Alex. And we were going over this. I'm going to show you a picture of dinner, and we'll get back to the Argentina team. But during dinner, we were going over the matchup process. Let me pull up my matrix. And Argentina. And we had, first off, I had pretty good green matches all across against Argentina. But there was a good mix. There wasn't like, they didn't have an Undying Dynasty player, which that was a big major, like, who's going to take the UD character out on this team. They did have demons. They had a interesting high elf list. They had a double dragon high elf list. Now, personally, I started thinking ahead. I started thinking from the night before at our dinner, that is probably their best player. We looked up the points on Argentina. This is where I started doing homework. This is where I started thinking, you know what, the matchup process is very key on getting these wins. It is very key to getting these wins. So I looked up the points. I looked up who was scoring most of their points by game 4. And by game 4, the day before, the most points gathered by their whole army, by their whole team, was their high elf player. Their high elf player was their best player, right? Then I forgot who it was after that. It was like Vermins, then the Beasts, then the Ogres, and then it just kind of trickled down, right? It was something like that. It was roughly like that. So it's like, okay, so we got to worry about the high elf player, we got to worry about the Vermin Swarm player. That's that, right? So let's go over the match process really quick. And here's a picture of Ivan. Ivan's going to be back in the story in a bit, right? So one of the things I wanted to do is I wanted this match right here, Joseph versus Charming Stellar, okay? Now, if you guys play Universal Battle, this is not the same Charming Stellar that plays Rats. This is Charming Stellar who actually originally owned that account before Josu took over his UB account, because Jorge here never really plays on UB. Anyways, let's go over the matches, and this like I said, this is really interesting to me. All right, so first off, I believe that was the first drop. The first drop was Charming Stellar, and we ended up throwing out Pablo first, right? Because Pablo, same reason why we always threw out Pablo first. Pablo has pretty much yellows and greens across the board. Now, personally, around this time, I'm realizing that Pablo was a little overconfident on his predictions. I don't think Pablo's a great player. That's why he's on the team. Be 100% honest with you guys. Pablo, I looked at his war score. He was ranked really freaking high last year. I wish war score would go back to doing that, but because one second. Sorry, somebody came to the door. Don't they know I'm trying to make a video? I'm not here to work. Jesus Christ. Anyways, so because Pablo put down that he's confident in every match, it skews the matrix. I'm not sure who Pablo is actually really bad against in his army, because he feels confident in every match. Not saying that Pablo isn't a great player. Again, like I said, he's on the team for a reason. He is a great player. But it was not enough practice time with this specific army list, and I think that cost us in picking his matches. So we throw down Pablo. They end up throwing down Ivan. Ivan played Pablo and that's why we said we're going to get back to this picture here of Ivan. But Ivan played Pablo during the ESC. Ivan won 16-4, right? So they threw down Ivan. They threw down somebody else, and Pablo tells me I could take Ivan. I said, "Are you sure?" He goes, "Yeah, I played him in ESC. I know what to do now." I said, "Are you sure?" And he goes, "Yes. I can't guarantee it. It's going to be tough, but I'll take Ivan." I said, "Okay, Pablo, I'm giving you Ivan." So they threw down their Sylvan Elf player. We ended up throwing out Joseph, and I forgot who else. It might have been me, or it might have been Charlie, right? But the two cards I'm not throwing out, is Euron or Alan. And the reason why is because Euron and Alan are my counters to his High Elf player, okay? And I'll get back to that later. So I didn't expect him to pick Joseph. I wanted him to pick Joseph. I felt like this is the one chance that gives Joseph a good chance to win, because Joseph has been having a really, really rough ETC. He hasn't won a single game yet. He's been getting crushed in pretty much every game. Most of it is due to rust. He hasn't played enough throughout the season to be ready for this, and that's the truth. That's just the truth. So they ended up picking the Sylvan Elf player to fight Joseph, and I was like, great, that's perfect. Joseph has an Infernal Dwarf army against trees. He's going to frickin' burn the shit out of them. This should be a good match for Joseph. We should be able to win this, right? Taking our cards back. Now, we throw out Neil. They ended up throwing out Skaven, okay? So since they threw out Skaven and we threw out Neil, they ended up matching Neil with, we ended up matching Neil with the demon player. I asked Neil if he wanted to take out the demons or the other guy. I think the other guy was actually their Warriors of the Dark Gods, and he's like, I'd rather go for the demons. So I'm like, alright, fine. We ended up throwing out Titty and probably like myself, and they ended up picking Titty against the Skaven. No, we probably threw out Titty and Charlie. I don't think I threw myself out for Skaven. Anyways, now here's where the tricky part comes out. They have 4 guys left. They have their High Elf player, which is their best player. They have their Dread Elf player, which is a mirror match against our Dread Elf player. And they have Warriors of the Dark Gods and Beasts, right? Now, they throw out their Dread Elf player. We threw out our Dread Elf player. Haha, we both threw out Dread Elves, which Charlie was happy for, because Charlie knows for a fact, he says, out of everybody in the whole tournament, he plays against their Dread Elf player the most, and he just does not want to play a mirror match against somebody he plays against all the goddamn time, right? So it was just like, yes, they didn't have to play each other. That's what he thought, right? I was like, I didn't care. I would rather just get a 20. But when they throw out their Dread Elf player, if we were to follow the Matrix, and again, I was listening to my team for half a second, and then I changed my mind. Based on the Matrix, the smartest play would be to put your 2 strongest guys against Dread Elf in their hand, which would have been me and somebody like Alan, or I think it would have been Alan, because Alan has flaming shots and cannons and stuff like that, right? Now, Charlie tells me, throw out you and Alan based on the Matrix. And I look at the other guy, he put 2 cards down, and I'm looking at that last card in his hand. All I see is the back of the card, but I'm looking at it and I go, he is holding his High Elf player. And they're like, what? And I go, think about it. If his best player is their High Elf player with the double dragon list, he is protecting that player. He is holding that player in his hand to pick the best possible match against that guy. Alright? That guy is their best player. He is protecting that player. Right? So I go, I'm not throwing myself out. I'm throwing out Alan, and I'm throwing out Euron against the Dread Elf player. And they're like, what? And I was like, I have to. And they're like, that doesn't make sense on the Matrix. That doesn't have to make sense. We have to worry about that High Elf player, and he's protecting it. And that's what I did. I am so fucking proud of myself for that. I'm so sorry for saying it like that, but damn, I'm so proud of myself. So all of a sudden, boom, they reveal the cards. Dread Elves versus Euron's Rats. freaking high elves against our ogre player with our double cannons and pyro. And it was like, boom! I got that motherfucker. I was like, ha ha ha, I knew it! I fucking knew it! Which left me versus their beast herds and Charlie versus their warriors, the dark gods. Let's get to it. I'm sorry that took a long time for the explanation, but let's get to it. Here's the beast herds player, and I'm gonna butcher his name. His name's like Torocho or something like that. No, Torkith. I like Torocho better now. But Torkith is their beast herds player, and for the record, I actually looked up the scores on Torkith and how he did. He actually played my brother in Spain when we played Argentina. He did spank my brother that game, by the way. Torkith is a playing a call list. For you, those of you who don't know what a call list is, this is a call list. It's very similar to most lists that were beast herds that went to ETC, because Kal is one of the best players to don the beasts, and they pretty much most armies, beast or herd armies, come as copy and paste of that specific list. All right, so we have a Beast Lord Chariot General. He has Beast Axe, Throwing Weapons, Fatal Folly, Basalt Infusion, Binding Scroll, Talisman, and Shielding. He has a BSB on a Chariot as well, Alchemist Alloy, Dragonfire Gem, Duskforge. He has a Master of Druidism with a Binding Scroll and Seed of the Dark Forest. I believe he had a second Binding Scroll. He does, on his General. He has 33 Mongrels. He has 15 Wild Horns at Ambush, 15 Wild Horns at Ambush. He has 9 Hounds. He has 6 Minotaurs, 5 Centaurs, 2 Razor Tusk Herds, 2 Gore-Tax, and 5 Gargoyles. And for the hell of it, I'm going to look up to see Spain's list and see how much different it is. General on a Chariot, BSB on a Chariot, Binding Scroll, Master of Druidism, 27 Mongrels, 8 Feral Hounds, 2 Ambush. It's the same fucking list! It is exactly the fucking same! What the fuck? There's like a minimal difference. There's one less Hound or one more Hound. What the fuck? Anyways, yeah, so it's a call list. Anyways, let's go over that really quick. My magic, I picked Scorching Salvo, Cascading Fire, Pyro Flow, Flaming Swords, Bringing the Pain. And then over here you can see that the big Blightfly thing, that's his Razor Tusk Pig, his just 100.1. Inside the forest is those are ambushers. I want to say the Wild Horns, and then on the right he has his Centaurs. He goes ahead and he deploys like this. In the center is his unit of Minotaurs. Next to them is his unit of Mongrels. Next to them is the 2 Chariot Lords combined. Those 2 monsters next to that are his 2 Gore-Tax. The other Blightfly is his Pumbaa, and that's how it looks. For his magic, he ended up getting a Healing Water, Summer Growth, Spirits of the Wood, and Stone Skin. The Spirit of the Wood is going to be the bane of my existence, but as you can see, there you go. That's my turn. Orcs and Goblins, turn number 1. Is it me number 1? Yeah, I think it is me number 1. Alright, so let's get this game on the way. I go ahead and I Vanguard up my dogs up out of the line of sight of anything that could charge. This hill's actually in a very good spot. He picks sides. As you can see, he has his own forest right next to the other forest, so he basically stops it so I can't shoot past that. My spiders on the left flank, my goblins are next to them. Basically I've been using them as a power couple for a while. My bolt throwers next to that, and more or less the reason I did this was just because he dropped first. I was able to see what to shoot would be where, more or less. I don't move my goblins too close because he has a good charge range with either A, his dogs, or B, his lord. His lord and his Gore-Tax have a good charge range. Move the savages up, move the black orcs up, and I want to say this is breakthrough. This is definitely breakthrough, which makes this a lot harder versus beasts. I had to keep my K-Pack skinny for whatever reason, for deployment purposes. I will move him up in a second, or I just made him thinner for a reason. But I'm going to go ahead and shoot basically his hounds first. That's my first priority, just to get rid of his chaff. Turn 1, magic, we're going to go into 1 on the flux. God damn, this is the worst time to get the 1 on the flux. Go ahead and I do a Scorching Salvo, goes off. Ends up doing 2 wounds onto one Gore-Tax, 1 wound onto the other Gore-Tax, ends up killing off a couple dogs, hoping to get a panic, does a wound onto a Minotaur, but that's the only spell that goes off. Gonna go into shooting. I shoot the dogs, kill off a couple more, causes a panic. They run, and they end up running that way towards his crotch. At first, he ended up running the wrong way, and then I was like, no, they run away from this unit, you gotta go center to center, and he's like, okay, and he just shifts it over, and I go, let's go back, and he goes, well, I don't know where it was. I go, I got pictures. So the good news is I had pictures to show him where it was. But let's go over turn 1, Beast Surge, turn 1. So here becomes a big fucking issue, alright, because his general has this item that makes them ambush turn 1, alright, so both his ambushers pop up turn 1 right away, and as you can see, they're behind my bolt thrower, and the other one's behind the spider. His Pumbaa goes up and just walks right up to the freaking the commandos. By the way, at the end of this game, the commandos are getting a new name. All right, so I am in a situation where I'm in a triangle. There's a Pumbaa up above me. There is these wild horns behind me, and the wild horns behind me the other way. I am in a spot where I have really nowhere to go. And this is a brilliant play by my opponent. My opponent is the first person to put me in a pickle where I'm like, I'm going to lose my goblins. I'm going to fucking lose my goblins. I can't deal with this, right? So his Gore-Tax move up, but his Gore-Tax are being a little wary of Koopa. Now, he has his Pumbaa in a spot where he has a BSB reroll leadership check, so he can't be really teared off unless I get really fucking lucky. He also has it in a spot if I charge and overrun into one of the Gore-Tax, the other Gore-Tax is going to hit me, and it's a far overrun. So it's pretty tricky. It's a pretty tricky scenario. Magic, he got a 1 on the Flux, goes ahead and he does Healing Waters to heal one of the wounds off of the fucking Gore-Tax that I shot. And then these guys over here are throwing their Tomahawks into my Chukka, ends up doing 3 wounds. These guys throw up Tomahawks and basically nothing happens. And back to this picture. It's my turn. Orcs and Goblins turn 2. And I call my timeout. And I'm like, dude, Lucas, I need a moment to talk to you here. And he's like, what's up? And I was like, look at what's going on here. And he's like, shit. And I go, I could charge the Pumbaa. He's going to just flee with the Pumbaa, or he's just going to stay there with the Pumbaa. Either way, it does me no good. I cannot fight 2 Gore-Tax at one time with Koopa. I maybe can, but I doubt it, you know? And if I don't overrun enough, I'm going to get hit with impact hits on both, and then they're going to kill me. If I call out the Wog, my dogs won't be close enough to get in to block charges. It's a bad scenario. Lucas, right here, he ends up talking to me and says, look, we're going to try. While we had the timeout, we figured out I could pop my Relentless banner with the Goblins. Goblins back up like so. He said basically, and I listened to Lucas, but I also did it on my own like this. I moved Koopa to this side. If I moved Koopa to the other side, he said it doesn't matter. He won't charge his Wild Horns into Koopa, which is true. His 15 Wild Horns are not taking out Koopa. Koopa will kill them. But part of that was all of a sudden I'm taking Koopa out of the equation, and Koopa won't be able to. He won't threaten the flank of the guys because they'll be too far on the right side. In the center, if he starts going for the center, Koopa's going to be way too far. I was able to move my Goblins like this, make them too wide, and get out of his line of sight of his Wild Horns, and just shoot him for a turn and hope that I could fucking panic them. That is what I'm really hoping for, is panicking them. Over on the right side, what you can't see is his Centaurs are coming straight for my flank. So I turn the squad around to face them. Move the K-Pack up to start threatening his Minotaurs, and then basically my dogs are going to stay out of line of sight of his Pumbaa up there. The Nashers are moving up fast as possible, and basically my 2 units in the center are just holding the center. And this is going to be really difficult, to be honest, to deal with the breakthrough against this opponent. It's going to be hard to get to his side, and it's going to be hard to deal with him. Magic, I get looks like a 3 on the Flux. Go ahead and I end up doing a Scorching Salvo. I kill off 2 of these guys over there, and then I think I killed 2 on the other side, to be honest. But I failed to wound the damn pig. The pig was my target with the Scorching Salvo. Go ahead and I end up doing Flaming Swords. He stopped the other spell, or he Binding Scroll the other spell. I forgot what he did. I think he just stopped it. So I end up doing Flaming Swords on these guys, the commandos, and I end up just shooting into this unit, and I shoot the shit out of this unit. I shoot it to the point where he only has about 5 left. He passes his panic check. That fucking sucks. Over here, these guys end up shooting into his centaurs. They only kill off 1 centaur. It's going to start off his turn. Beast Herd's turn 2. Beast Herd's turn 2. Charges his wild horns here into the chukka. Okay, I understood that was coming. Gets in, right? Now, his pig was too far, so his pig just walks up into the ruins, takes DT, doesn't really give a fuck. His pig is fine. His Gore-Tax starts to come up. Again, he's just chaffing me. But his Gore-Tax starts to come up to threaten the spider. Magic, he gets a 6 on the flux. And as you can see, this is basically how the table looks. Most of his stuff doesn't matter. Like Stone Skin, what is it going to do, really? Most of his stuff is like Druidism spells, and nothing really got injured over on that side. So I think the only thing he's trying to do is heal his Gore-Tax. I'm pretty sure one of them is healed fully. The other one still has 2 wounds on it. No, they're not. So those 3 dice that I have on the table on the bottom left corner of this picture, that's me keeping track of who has how many wounds. Because with wound tokens, if they're not specifically marked, it's difficult to keep track sometimes, or tokens get picked up, dice gets picked up. So I just put those 3 dice there to be like, those are their wounds. That's how many they have. But he's still threatening my goblins. I was hoping for that fucking panic. Now I really can't even risk the panic because those goblins are in a bad spot. It's a really shitty spot. Of course, he's going to kill the freaking Spear Chukka here. He reforms to face the spider. And this guy's in a great spot himself because they're just going to hold the objective. Turn 3, Orcs and Goblins. I call it the Wog! And I charge my general's unit into his general. He's like, what? And I go, I could see you. I'm going to go in. And he's like, fuck. So I need a 10 to get in with my general's unit. Not only that, but I'm going to charge the K-Pack into those Minotaurs, and I need a 10 on those. Well, the K-Pack, boom, get in. But my general was like, I don't feel like swimming today. God damn. Now, I don't care if his general charges into either my savages or my black orcs. I start to set it up where they could kind of protect each other if they do. I think that's pretty much what I do. Or it was just a really far charge, I want to say. The problem I'm having is his Gore-Tax. His 2 Gore-Tax are threatening my flank. Now, I want to say I passed my march check with my... Or failed my march check, I want to say, with my goblins. No, it must have been passed. I passed my march check with my goblins. The problem is now they're in a spot where I can't get out of line of sight of the Pumbaa, the Gore-Tax, his Wild Horns. It's just too many. So what I end up doing is both my BSB and my Wizard bail out of the unit, go around his Wild Horns, and then I leave my Forest Goblins there to get killed by Gore-Tax, more or less. Alright? I was contemplating really just doing a Flaming Sword on that unit and just trying to shoot the Gore-Tax. He healed 1 fully, like I said. The other one is still wounded, so I was thinking maybe I could just do a Flaming Sword, try to kill him. The problem is now they're hitting on 6s, wounding on 6s, or would be wounding on 5s, but because Bazooka left the unit, that basically makes it a lot harder. I go ahead and I keep Koopa right there threatening his Wild Horns. He's going to have to reform the Wild Horns, or he could charge in. I don't really care. But Koopa's out of line of sight of his Gore-Tax, which is great news. And basically, that's how it looks. Over on the right side, you can see over there, the Centaurs are still moving towards my Goblins. They're coming for my Goblins. Alright, Magic! End up doing a Scorching Salvo, trying to kill that. I think I do kill that pig. I want to say I kill that fucking pig finally. If it's not, it's going to die soon anyways. End up doing a Flaming Sword here with the freaking onto these guys. Even though I had contemplated doing it on the other ones, I did it on these guys because I was afraid that they're not going to kill these fucking Centaurs. Shooting, I end up shooting them. I end up only killing 1 fucking Centaur. God damn it. Over here, Koopa ends up just shooting into a couple of these guys, kills off 2. And then over here, oh my god, this is the best sequence of events for Bazooka's Commandos. So Bazooka's Commandos shoot the Gore-Tax, because why not? What else am I going to fucking shoot? I shoot the Gore-Tax. I'm hitting him on 6s, wounding him on 6s. I end up getting 2 wounds off. Okay. Over here, Bazooka ends up shooting in the back of these guys, kills off 2 of them, causes a panic. The last guy runs over that way. Why couldn't they fucking panic earlier? I don't know. Over here, impact hits, kills only 2 Minotaurs. I actually rolled really low on my impact hits. He ends up doing or I end up killing off one more with the dogs. He goes back and he ends up just wiping them out with the 3 Minotaurs. That was fucking brutal. And then over here, it's gonna start off his turn. Beast Herds turn number 3. This is a very epic turn for him, by the way. He charges his Pumbaa into the flank of the squad. He fails that charge. He charges the Centaurs into the front. I'm like, okay, stand and shoot. I think I killed one more, right? Now, he gets him over there, obviously. He charged his Minotaurs into my dogs. My dogs fled, and I had to flee. I passed my panic, even though my squad is out of range of my general by like 1 inch, by like half an inch, to be honest. So I passed my leadership 6. The dogs run through. Okay. Now, I did that because his Minotaurs failed Frenzy. His Minotaurs had to charge something. If he charged into there, he'd have Minotaurs into my flank or backfield. That would be horrible. So now I'm forcing him to redirect into something that's about to kick his ass. Right? So he redirects into the squigs. I don't care. Right? Now, his Gortak fails his Frenzy check. Has to charge. So he's like, oh, fuck it. I'll just terror check your goblins. So he's going to charge my goblins. I pass the leadership 6 terror check. He's like, what the fuck? I stand and shoot. Now I'm like, fuck it. I bought throwing weapons. I'm going to tomahawk his ass. So I throw 40 shots. Looking for 6s. 40 shots. I get a bunch of 6s. I got like 9 6s for some fucking reason, right? I roll to wound. And I get 2 wounds with tomahawk. So now he's taking 4 wounds of shooting by these damn goblins in 2 rounds. He charges, he gets the fucking he makes the charge. He runs through the ruins and takes another wound. He's like, son of a bitch. I'm like, you're gonna die to poison. And he's like, they have poison? I'm like, yeah, they're forest goblins. He's like, son of a bitch. This guy did not rally, runs through the unit, dies, right? The other guys didn't charge Koopa, of course, right? His other Gortak actually sits back because he's curious on what's going to happen here, and they don't threaten my savages, right? Magic, he gets a 5 on the flux. He goes ahead and he does summer growth. I want to say I try to stop this, and no, I had to stop Stone Skin on his Minotaurs. That's what I had to do. So I let summer growth go. He heals 1 wound here, right? Now, he does Spirit of the Woods onto my squigs here because he doesn't want me holding a steadfast. I get it, whatever, right? So over here, close combat, I end up killing off maybe 1 guy. I want to say no. I think I fucking whiff, and I was like, that was such a fucking waste of a flaming swords. I swear to God. He ends up winning combat again. Like I said, I'm steadfast, but I'm outside of range of my general. These guys run. He chases. I actually run pretty far. I think I run like a 10. He ran like a 7. I get away. Over here, close combat, my squigs are actually attacking simultaneously as his does, and my squigs end up doing 11 wounds or so. 9, 10, yeah, 11 wounds, alright? He did heal one of his guys with the Spirit of the Woods and the other one, whatever. He ended up bringing one of them back. So my squigs end up losing combat because he did more wounds than I did to him, but at the same token, even though I'm steadfast, I'm going to blow up. Right? When I blow up, I don't take out this extra wound. Unfortunately, I don't take out that extra wound. And that last guy is going to be alive with 1 wound remaining. The one thing I can't do is let him rebuild this unit. And then as you can see, he chaffed my Black Orcs. Alright? Over here, this combat, impact hits, does 2 wounds. He rolls a 6. He heals another wound. Alright? So now he has 3 wounds. Alright? Now, he kills a bunch more with his attacks. He kills a bunch of my goblins. I know I'm going to lose the goblins. All I'm hoping for is some fucking poisons. And boom, boom, 2 more poisons. That motherfucker took 5 wounds. 5 wounds, alright? So far, this forest goblin unit has done 7 wounds to this Gortax, even though he's healed 2. Alright? So he wins combat. He has a charge. He killed, I don't know, 8, 9 guys. I have 13 left, so 7 guys he killed. Alright? So he has a charge, 7 wounds, and fear. I've done 2 wounds and a banner. Alright? I auto break. I don't even have ranks. I auto break, right? So I said, oh, they're running test to restrain. So he rolls the dice and he tries to roll 2 dice and he's like, oh, I passed. I go, it's a frenzied monster. You have to roll a 3rd dice. He's like, and he rolls a 6. I'm like, come on, chase him through the fucking ruins. Chase those fucking forest goblins through the ruins. He's like, come on, man. He rolls the dice and he's like, let's do it dramatically. Let's do it dramatically. He goes, let's just do 1 at a time. I said, okay. He's like, if I roll 3 dice, 1 at a time, he's like, I have a better chance. First fucking dice. Boom! Oh my god! Oh my god! Holy shit! Oh my god! The fucking forest goblins destroyed that Gore-Tex. Oh my god. And from now on, Bazooka's commandos are now known as the GKs, which are the Gore-Tex killers. Alright, so the GKs ended up taking out his Gore-Tex. He died to the ruins. That's fucking epic. I don't care that they died. They're 260 points, alright? They're 260 points for those damn goblins. And they killed out a 480 point Gore-Tex. And caused him a hell of a lot of problems. Alright, let's move on. Turn 4, Orcs and Goblins. Orcs and Goblins, turn 4. Of course, I'm going to charge the gargoyles here. I don't care if I take DTs. And if one of my orcs can't swim. He has Jaime Lannister armor sunk to the bottom. Alright, my 2 characters are trying to make it to the other unit of goblins to eventually get into that unit. But in the meantime, I do rally those goblins. I am going to try to just finish them off with pyromancy. My main goal here is I'm trying to kill his Minotaur that has 1 wound left, so my wizard has line of sight of both him, the Pumbaa on the right side, and his 3 or 4 centaurs, whatever that is, left. So I'm going to just try to hit him with a Scorching Salvo, try to hit him with a Pyro Flow, try to hit him with Fireball, or a Flaming Sword, or whatever, right? That's my goal, and my BSB is here to shoot that last wound. Alright, right now it's looking good. Right now I'm like, okay, he only has his General's unit left, he only has his Mongrels left, and he only has 1 Gore-Tex left. In the meantime, Koopa's still trying to fight with this fucking wiry unit on the left side holding the objective. Magic could get an 8 on the flux. Go ahead and I do a Pyroclastic Flow. He actually binding scrolled my Scorching Salvo, so I'm like, alright, fine. I'm gonna go ahead and do a Pyroclastic Flow, and he goes, go ahead. I fucking do 3 wounds to the damn pig, kill the pig, attribute goes on to the Minotaur, kills the Minotaur. He's like, come on, man! I was like, yeah, sorry. Get that off. Go ahead and I do Flaming Swords onto my BSB. My BSB ends up shooting into his Centaurs, kills 2 of the Centaurs. That last one's going to be alive. Over here, shooting into these guys. Koopa continues to shoot these guys. And my Black Orcs end up killing his Gargoyles. Again, this is looking good. He calls his timeout. He calls his fucking timeout. I get it. I totally fucking get it. Right now, I did a big turnaround on his whole army. It looks good. I feel like this is a good green match for me, right? And we're going to go into turn 4 Beast Herds. Turn 4 Beast Herds. Alright. He gets his time in. He talks to his coach. Charges here into the Goblins. Okay. Which, in reality, I'm hoping I just do the 1 wound. That's it. And actually, I did a Flaming Sword bubble. That's what I did. I did a Flaming Sword bubble because my Wizards did a really good spot for a bubble. Right? He charges here into my Savages. Alright? So my Savage Orcs are going to take the impact test from the Chariots. I challenge 1 out. It's fine. His 1 guy can't kill enough to make me unsteadfast. Right? And as you can see, my Black Orcs are protecting the flank of my Savages. So he charges the Mongrels in, which that's a far charge. But, if he gets in, he could break my ranks, which is his plan, right? His Gore-Tex doesn't see them, but his Gore-Tex is charging my Spider, Koopa. So he's going to go for Koopa. I'm like, fine, whatever. I don't care if he goes in for Koopa, to be honest. So he gets him. Boom, boom. The other guy fails. Both of the other ones fail. The Gore-Tex and his Mongrels, which is fine. Like I said, I'm going to hold steadfast, whatever, right? Well, there you go. The Gore-Tex failed. Now we're going to go to Magic, and I swear to God, alright? This is the single mistake I made this whole fucking game that cost me most of my things, alright? He gets off Magic, and he rolls 3 dice for Oakenthrone. 3 dice, and he gets like a 16 on 3 dice for Oakenthrow. And I was like, dude, you can have Oakenthrow. The only thing I need to stop is the Spirit of the Woods. Alright? So I have 5 dice. He rolls 5 dice on Spirit of the Woods. And he gets it by 1 more than me. Son of a bitch! Now, after the game, I talked to Neil. And Neil's like, why didn't you stop the Oakenthrow? I go, why? He goes, because he can't target your unit unless he has Oakenthrown up. Motherfucker. God damn it. I didn't know that. I did not know that. I don't play against Druidism enough anymore. And no, everybody I play with Druidism, nobody ever plays the spell on me. So I'm just like, son of a bitch. That's why he 3-diced it. That's why he got a fucking 16 on it. God damn it. So he gets off Spirit of the Woods. That's going to cost me there. Big. Over here, his Centaur did kill 3 of my Goblins, but my Goblins ended up killing off his Centaur. Over here, I challenge out. Or I don't even think I challenge out. I think I just try to kill him. Because I was like, I'm going to lose the unit anyways. Unfortunately, one had the Dragon Gem. So it didn't even really matter. I think I did challenge out and it didn't really matter. He ends up winning combat. I end up blowing up. Boom! Fuck! He overruns a 10 into that Spear Chucker. Fuck! This puts me in a bad spot. Jesus Christ, this puts me in a bad spot. Most of it is due to the fact that he's going to kill this Spear Chucker on his turn so he can charge whatever the fuck he wants to charge. Even though I cleared off the right side, I have to really run the fuck away. Over here, Koopa, and, oh, this is my turn. Orcs and Goblins, turn 5. Orcs and Goblins, turn 5. I charge Koopa into the unit that's been hiding in this corner. It finally falls off the table. I think that's why he wanted his Gore-Tex in so bad to save that unit, which is fine. Koopa spent a little bit too long to get there, but you know I was able to clear off the objective. Now neither one of us is getting the objective. I charge my Black Orcs into his Wizard Bunker. If I can charge the Black Orcs into his Wizard Bunker, obviously I'm going to win that combat, and I'll overrun towards the objective, right? He sees that, and what he ends up doing is he ends up fleeing, and he rolls a far flee, like 10 on the flee, and gets away. Magic, I end up getting a 7 on the flux, and as you can see, here's a picture of the movement. I try to move my Wizard and my BSB in 2 separate directions, okay? Part of it is if he charges, since his unit's fleeing up there, alright? My Wizard is safer up there. I believe the BSB failed the March check, but I put the BSB over here so I could do a double flee with the BSB, and I could move my Wizard to flee through my Black Orcs, right? And then hopefully he can't make it into my Black Orcs, a far charge, whatever. Magic, I end up doing a Pyroclastic Flow into his freaking Gore-Tex, does 3 wounds, and close combat, he wipes out my fucking Spear Chucker, and he's going to pick whatever he wants to charge. He's going to start off his turn, turn 5. Turn 5, he charges into my Wizard. Oh, when he kills the Spear Chucker, I want to say what happened was my BSB panicked, ran through the squad. The squad panicked, squad started running away. So he's like, well, fuck it, I'm just going to kill your Wizard. So turn 5, we're running out of time. We are running so low on time. By the way, we get a penalty point roughly around here, just after this game. 1 point for being late on turning in the scores. It wasn't my game, though. We ended up stopping the time here. It was Euron's game right now. Euron's game goes 1 minute over. Getting the scores in. But what ends up happening is he charges my Wizard, I flee, right? He goes to redirect, and he's successful, and he's going to charge into the rear of my Black Orcs. He's thinking, okay, he's in the water, it's not going to be steadfast, whatever, right? And not only that, but he has to protect the objective. Right now, I believe I could actually march onto the objective. So he charges in, boom. His Gore-Tex, he's trying to play it off like, la, 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 you know, okay, that's my only charge. I go, do your frenzy check. And he goes, what? I go, do your frenzy check. He's like, come on, man. I go, do your frenzy check. He's like, you are in 14 inches of Koopa, do your frenzy check. He goes, fuck! Fails it. I'm like, come on in, man. Koopa wants to fight. And he's like, come on, man. Koopa, you fat bastard. He gets right into Koopa. I'm like, give me points. Magic gets a 3 on the flux. His guys rallied, obviously, to get magic off, and as you can see, my wizard ended up taking a DT running through the water. Magic, I don't really know what happens, but close combat, he ends up wiping the shit out of my black orcs. I killed like 7 of them. I challenged with the champ, and then basically we're running out of time, so we had to rush these last 2 rounds of combat, right? So over here, close combat, he does like maybe 2 wounds to Koopa, but Koopa just wipes the fucking floor with that Gore-Tex. Oh, Koopa, you fat fuck. Unfortunately, we had to call the game here. We had like 2 minutes to turn in the fucking scores. 2 minutes. I'm going to be honest with you. I'm going to go back to a couple pictures ago, right here. Just say you can see the wizard fleeing, okay? I passed my stubborn check on my black orcs, obviously, when his unit ran in. I could turn around, I could turn off his ward save, and I could have my general fight either one of his characters, and I'd be totally happy with that. I'm totally fine with that, right? The problem here is we have no time to finish this, and I have a very good chance of winning maybe like 13 to 15 or whatever. The big issue here is rallying my wizard and rallying my BSB and my squad, because right now fleeing, that's like maybe like 800 points fleeing or so. 200 plus 400, yeah, it's like 800 points fleeing. So if I rally them, that's 400 points on the table. So that's already at least a point or 2. That's at least a 12-8 or something like that, right? But not only that, but allowing my pyromancy or my wizard to help assist in that combat, and also start to just nuke that mongrel unit, hopefully cause a panic, stuff like that, right? He only has his 2 characters and his mongrel bunker alive. That's it. Koopa could come in, the squad could just kind of hold points, whatever. There's so many different scenarios that could happen right now. And then even if he charges my wizard, I could flee again. It doesn't really matter, right? The problem is we have no time to do any of that. And I was like, all right, do you mind if I just rally my guys? Because we don't have enough time to do the whole thing. I could just roll to see if they rally, because that takes nothing. And he goes, are we playing the whole turn? I was like, we can't play the whole turn. We're running out of time. And he goes, then we're stuck here. And I was like, son of a bitch. And it's the truth. I get it. That's the rules. I get it. It just sucks. So for the hell of it, I rolled it, and all 3 of them rallied. We add up the whole score, and I got a fucking 10-10. Motherfucking bullshit. That left such a sour taste in my mouth. I was like, I had this guy. I had him so bad. I was kicking his ass. Torkith. Anyways, MVP is a very easy MVP for me. It's these fucking forest goblins. Oh my god, the GKs. The GKs. Bazooka's GKs. My god, that was probably the funnest set of events that happened to kill a Gore-Tex for me ever. Alright? But let's go over the points real quick. Let's go over everything else, and really, my whole downfall was just not stopping this Oaken Throne. I could have 5 dice and got over 16. I could have 5 dice easily to get over 16. But I failed to stop his fucking Spirit of the Woods, which he rolled like a 21, and I rolled like a 20. And it was just like, come on, man. But I didn't know. And that not knowing cost me half the battle. Because, like I said, his general would have been dead. His general and BSB would have done it. It would have been probably like a 20 for me after that. But, not 20, maybe like a 17, but whatever. Anyways, no point of crying over spilt milk. So, let's go over scores real quick. I think I did the scores. Alright, so as you can see, so for my team, let's go over that real quick first. For my team, Charlie was playing on the table right next to me, and he started tabling his guy. Like, he started just winning big, and the guy was like, listen, you're gonna win. I can see you're going to win. There's this soccer game I want to watch. Can we just shake on a 13-7? And Charlie's like, fine, I want to watch the soccer game too. So they just said, okay. Pablo is playing Ivan. Now, Pablo comes up to me and he goes, James? I go, yeah. He goes, Ivan wants to shake for a 10-10 because he wants to watch this soccer game. And I go, no. He goes, what? And he goes, James, I probably should take the 10-10. I go, why? He goes, because I've been losing. He goes, Ivan, I played him at ESC, and I don't think I'm going to win. And then Ivan's like, come on, man, I want to watch the soccer game. I go, no, tell him you'll take a 13-7, and you'll shake his hand. And Pablo's like, Ivan immediately talks to me, and he goes, and I played Ivan before at ESC last year. And Ivan goes, James, I won't even take an 11, okay? Not 1 point over 10. I'll give you a 10-10. I just want to watch the soccer game. And I go, tell him no, play the game, and he'll want to watch that soccer game more and more. And he goes, all right. So like an hour into the game, not even like a half hour into the game, he goes, fuck it, I'll take the 13-7. Go ahead, man. I just want to watch the game. oh my god. Euron, playing his Dread Elf player, Alex. He ended up getting a 20. Fucking killer, Euron. Joseph, man. Joseph. You gotta be kidding me. He was playing the Sylvan Elf guy, and he lost. He got a 4-16. Neil, playing their demon player, got an 8, which that's decent against demons. Titty got a big 20 against their vermin player. Alan got a 9 against their high elf player. Alan actually got the guy in the corner. He didn't want to bring his 2 dragons out, and they shook out an 11-9 because he knew that basically there was going to be a 10-10, but the guy would grab the objective, something like that. So Alan was just like, it's going to be like 11-9, bro. And they were like, okay, so they shook on that. And because of all the shakes, we had 3 different players shake their hands. We ended up winning fucking huge. We ended up winning 97-63. If I would have got 15 points on this guy, we would have went over cap easy. If I would have got 13 points, we would have hit cap. But I got a 10-10 on this game, and I was really just frustrated that I knew I could have fucking rallied. I did rally after the fact, but it doesn't even matter. Alright. For my army, my units, Dread's Iron Legion killed only 150 points in gargoyles. I didn't do a single wound to his characters for whatever fucking reason. Baxter the Pyromaniac ended up... Baxter the Pyromaniac is the true MVP, I'm gonna be honest with you. He fucking killed 845 points of this guy's army. 845 points, and he was just like... fucking bastard. The Gortat Killers, Bazookas GKs. 755 points, they take the MVP, and who else's 20 fucking goblins could kill a Gortat? Bait him. Kill him in the ruins. Come on, that is fucking style, finesse, standing shooting with fucking 40 tomahawks, shooting them with fucking bow and arrows, and poisoning them with their little fucking poison daggers. Whose other goblins have done that? I want to know. Put your shit in the fucking comments below and say my fucking goblins have done it if they have. Because I doubt anybody else's goblins have done that. Not like the GKs. The Foot Clan did absolutely nothing. They died at some fucking magical trees. Bullshit. King Koopa. Oh my god. Koopa, he didn't really do too much. He basically zoned him, and Koopa ended up just making sure that the scenario was clear on my side. But Koopa, that last fucking terror or frenzy charge, I'm like, come on to Koopa. Koopa has more wounds than you can think you could do right now. And Koopa just fucking fucked up his Gortak at the end. The Squigs, man, the Minotaurs really fucked me up, to be honest. The Squigs went at him, only killed a couple. K-Pack went at him, killed a couple, and that's all the points they got out of it. The squad still has more points than half the army. And guys, there's a Shy Ambulance at the end of the video. The Spirit Chuckers got 0 points, mainly because the trees were in the way. It was just bad shots. I was trying to kill his fucking chariots, didn't do shit. Tried to kill his Gore-Tex, didn't do shit. For my team... let's go over this really quick. Titty is now at 92 points. I'm at 74 points. Euron's at 71 points. Charlie's at 46. Neil's at 41. Alan 33. Pablo 37. And Joseph at 16. And that's where we're going to end at, guys. Guys, I hope you enjoyed this video. I enjoyed making it. I really am having a great time doing these videos for ETC. My next game is a very, very good game against Mr. Pascal, the Dread Elf player from Belgium. And just to give you guys an idea, I have played Pascal. This is actually the second time we've played this game. First time was on Universal Battle. I'll show you that little image right now. The Universal Battle game, I got really fucking lucky. His bull failed a panic check, and his shit started just panicking off the table everywhere, and then he didn't rally. So I know for a fact I got lucky, but this is going to be a fun game. I'll go over all that in the next game, in the next battle report. But yeah, I'm looking forward to it. Anyways, guys, if you like my video, hit like, hit share, hit subscribe, and I will be putting up my next video as soon as I possibly can. And also, if you guys would like to show further support, you could always go to my Patreon. I leave the link down below. $1 a month donation really does go a long way for me. It helps me get to all these trips that are far, far away, and it costs me a lot in flight to get there. Besides that, guys, I hope you guys enjoy this, and until next time, take care and peace.